All right, so in order to do your wall tags, as I said, just for the sake of a demonstration, I'm going to use a simple file here. So I'm going to go to the application menu and click on New Project, and I'll just use the architectural template, which just gives me the basic sort of two-level setup, and I'll just click OK. And what I'm going to do for starters, I'm just going to create a really basic floor plan that's got a variety of wall types associated with it. So I'll click on the wall tool, and then just kind of good practice in Revit, I'm going to associate all these walls with level 2, so they'll just be kind of a 4-meter height. And then, as I said, I'm just going to create walls here. Use some of the more complex, more detailed walls at the top of this property or types list. So what I mean by that is just use, like, let's say we'll use the first 4 types here. So exterior block on metal stud for to start with. The exact dimensions don't matter here. It's going to be fairly random. And then just kind of make your way around this little layout using different types of walls. So as I said, I'll just use the first kind of 4 types there, and I'll throw in a curtain wall as well. I'll just drag down to the bottom and use the storefront type just to kind of finish this off. Relying on my alignments there to complete the building and just enclose it. And by default, whenever you set up a new file, of course, you get just the very basic sort of coarse level of detail. So just so we can kind of distinguish which wall is which, I'm going to switch this to fine. And then I'll also go to shaded for this as well. So as I said, that's going to give me some indication here of where my wall types change. Okay, so I'll just give you a second to set that up. So to put the wall tags on, just go to the Annotate tab, and we're going to use Tag by Category. And then it's just a simple matter of hovering over the wall. And for wall tags, we're just kind of worried with or concerned with the exterior tags for now. So just make sure those tags are on the outside of the building. And you'll see that when you place these, you don't need to place a tag on every wall. Just kind of what we'll do is we'll just place 1 tag per type. When you place these, you'll see that what's displayed in the tag is just a question mark. We'll clarify that in just a bit here once we've got them all placed. Once you've placed the tags, what you can do is you can zoom in, click on the symbol, and then click on the text within it and just enter a number. We're just going to go in sequence, just 1 through 5. When you hit enter, it's going to warn you that you're changing a type parameter. That's okay. Just click yes. All it means is that now the number 1 will be associated with this particular wall type wherever it occurs in your project. So I'll just make that number 1 and then just go in order here. Just clicking yes whenever I get that warning. So there's those 4 basic types that I was using. And then I'll also add the storefront curtain wall type here as well, and that'll be number 5. Even though it is a transparent wall and it's thought to be more of like a window assembly, a curtain wall is usually tagged as a wall. Okay, so there's my favorite, or 5 different wall tags, my 5 different wall types. That's on my main floor plan view. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to the View tab, and I'm going to click on Legend. It'll look a little different on your screen than it does on mine, just because I'm dealing with fewer pixels here. So you might just have to kind of glance back and forth till you get it, but it's this one right here. And because this is in the View tab, what it's going to do is it's going to create a new view in our browser for a new legend. And you can see here on the browser there's also already a section there for legends. So when I click here, it's going to ask me what scale I want this to be at. And We can just go with the default here, Legend 1, that's fine. Scale 1 to 50 should work as well, so just click OK. And now, as I said, you can see Legend 1 displayed in the browser in the Legends section. So there's nothing there, of course, just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to populate this view with just little wall samples. And the way that we do that is we go back to the Annotate tab, and in the Detail panel, we go to Legend Component. So click on Legend Component. And the key here is on the Options toolbar, you'll see that it says Family, and then it lists all the family types in your project. So what we do here is we just click on the wall type. So for example, we're just going to go with the first 4 in the list here. We'll click on Block on Metal Stud. And then you'll see that it's got this little sample here following your cursor around. I'm going to specify that I want this to be displayed in a floor plan view instead of a section view. So I'll change that, floor plan, and then the host length is just the sample size. Doesn't really matter here what you enter, but I'll just make it nice and even and just put a meter. And I'll just place that one. Now, it's not going to look like anything's happening there because I'm still in my coarse level of detail. So if I switch that to fine, then you'll see a better representation of the wall. So that's the first one. And I'm going to switch now to a different family type here. This will be the second wall. And you'll get some alignment lines, so you can just kind of follow those as closely as possible to place that second one. You don't get anything else here. You won't get any display of units or anything like that. So if you want to be really particular about how these are placed and how far apart they are, use your detail lines. But I'll just keep placing these. They'll be somewhat random. And I'll go to the third one on the list now, which is brick on CMU. And the fourth. Okay, there we go. There's our 4 wall types, and then I'll add curtain wall storefront as well. And it won't let me display the curtain wall type. All right, we'll come back to that one. Let's just worry about these ones for now. So just display those 4 basic wall types, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do the leader lines that describe all the materials within the wall. There's not much to the storefront curtain wall type. It's just basically, of course, an arrangement of mullions and spandrel panels and view panels. So we'll get that sort of manually later. But for these ones, what we'll do for now is we'll go to the Annotate tab, and we're going to tag by material, or just use the material tag tool. Again, it'll look a little different on your screen than it does on mine. And if you click that, then you'll notice that as you hover over the different parts of these walls, it'll describe what the material is. So this is going back to where the wall may have been set up with a custom sort of arrangement or assembly. So this is based on the materials that you assign to the layers of the wall. So if I just click there, it works just like a leader would in AutoCAD, let's say. So I get a couple clicks to place the text. And then as I hover over different parts of the wall, I'll get the corresponding material information here. Now you do get a few sort of alignment helps. You'll get that temporary sort of alignment line there. There's a lot about this that doesn't quite align properly, so if you want to be really particular, again, you might want to just use some two-dimensional detail lines from the Annotate tab, displayed right here, just to kind of help you with the alignment. So I've just got one more that I'll tag here on the bottom. And there's your wall type. Now, unfortunately, this is one of the things I was alluding to earlier. One of the things that you can't do is you can't actually display the corresponding wall tag or the symbol right beside the wall assembly, which is unfortunate. So you have to kind of do this manually. Now, if you want a reference as to what that symbol looks like, in our project here, we've got these kind of diamond symbols for the wall. So if we go back to Legend 1, let's just make sure we got the right type here. So this is number 1 up here. You can see just by the patterns that we've got a CMU wall. So we'll just make sure we've got the right one. We'll go back to Legend 1. There it is there. And we'll have to kind of do this manually. We're going to draw a diamond shape here and just put the number 1 in it. As I said, it would be nice if this was a little more automated, but we're going to have to go the long way on this. So just for reference sake, so I can get the symbol the right size, proportions and everything, I'm actually going to drag the symbol into the view here. And you can do this with anything in Revit. In your browser, you've got a list in the family section here of all the different family objects, family types that are in your project at any given time. So if I expand annotation symbols and just drag down here, I can see my M_wall tag, and I'll just use this 8mm one and just drag it into the project right there like that. Now, all I'm going to do is just drag that in once because, as I said, I'm going to have to kind of manually generate this diamond shape, and then I'll put some regular text in there and just enter the number 1. Now, if you wanted to, you could click on this symbol, go to Edit Family, and then you can see here that this 1T that's displayed is just the sample text that comes with this type. So you could kind of go through a process of doing a different sample text and then saving it as a unique file and bringing it back in, but I think you'll find that's rather tedious to do. So I'm not going to edit it at this level. As I said, I'm just going to do this manually. So this is just here for reference sake. I'm going to go to Annotate, Detail Line. I'm going to click on the rectangle tool, and I'm just going to generate a square here. 170mm. Let's go a little larger here. Let's go about 300. Let's go 280 by 280. And then I'm just going to rotate this. So I select the object, and then automatically it'll go to this new tab here, Modify /Lines. Click on the Rotate tool. The alignment for the Rotate tool is right in the middle, luckily, and I can just do a 45-degree rotate. And there's my manual wall tag symbol right there. And then, of course, all I have to do here is just place some text in there. And I'll enter the number 1. And then kind of center that a little better. So, unfortunately, it's a little bit of extra work, but nothing too terribly tedious. So I'll just copy this down beside each wall, and then just change the text here. So this is going to be number 2, 3, and then 4. So because what I've got here is a special view, remember this is a legend view, this is its own object, its own view that I'll drag onto a sheet. So I'll set that up next. So I would go, of course, through all the process here of describing all the layers within each of those walls. And then I would go to View, create a new sheet, and I'm just going to select a new title block here from the library. I want an A1, so I'm going to go to Title Blocks folder, select A1, click Open, and OK. So there's my new A1 sheet. Now all I have to do, just like other views, is just select Legend 1 and then drag it on to my sheet. And now you can see here, after a little bit of fine-tuning, I've got a list of my wall assemblies here with a description of all the materials within that.